Hey, it's Adewale here again with another exciting tutorial on closest copy. And this time we're looking at how closest copy can help you sell your services and products from as many angles as possible. Now, why would you need this? Just imagine you have just toiled for days on end to create a product, maybe a video series on how to sell ebooks, let's say, for example, and you want to now tell people, you want to kind of spread the word about this video series. There's just so many come and buy my video series emails you can send before people start to get tired of you. What if you could find a way to sell this video series in thousands of different ways? So send thousands of different emails, and these emails attract people to come back to your video series, and these emails are emails that meet your customers' needs, or the needs that are related to your video series. So you are giving them something good, something that makes them want to open your email again over and over and over. This gives you the potential of being able to sell your services over and over and over and over again. I mean, I would suggest that if you are going to link to your products and services, do not link to it in every single email. Obviously, we don't want to overdo that. You want to do it in such a way where maybe 80-20 rules. Maybe you send 4 emails and the fourth one will have a link to your products and services. But the first 3 emails still link to your products and services in terms of the kind of things they're talking about, but may not actually have an actual link to your services. So this allows you to write so many different stories around so many different benefits and objections around your products and services in a way where the client feels, where your fans feel you are meeting their needs with every single email. So how do we do this? We are going to be using the new and improved system from Closest Copy called the workflows. And in the workflows, what's happened there is that I've just gathered a number of frameworks that will help you achieve this aim. So we'll be going to the sales emails frameworks, and if you're trying to get this sales emails framework, you go to the community, browse to the community, and just look for my name, or just type in sales email, and it will pull up all the frameworks that are in the sales email. I would suggest that you just add all of them, because they walk you through the steps of doing what I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so first is you get your ideas. Now we say we want to sell ebook. Let's just put ebook. We want to do tutorial. What they're doing is a tutorial to teach people how to sell their ebooks. So get ebook, sales. This first big idea generator is sort of a creative one. That's why I have the word creative here. In other words, it's just a brainstorm going in every direction to figure out, and then the goal is that you figure out which of the ideas that's going to be given you here meets what you want to be able to share, or you feel is interesting enough for something that would attract people. So leveraging the power of Google. So get ebook sales by leveraging the power of Google. Nobody else has this information, so get it now here. Highly responsive and personal web page. Okay, so this one is showing you how to get more ebook sales through Okay, I like this one. So yeah, our topic is get more get excuse me, ebook sales. Yep, that's our topic. Oh, how's that copying? Copy. So once you got the topic, you got the big message. Let's read this big message to make sure it makes sense. So your website doesn't have to be dull. With the right words, you can become a powerful call to action. Okay, right, or you can create. So obviously, because it is AI, you have to make some corrections in some places. Create a powerful call to action that triggers a flood of prospective customers to your doorstep. It doesn't matter if you are in the furniture business, the door-to-door fruit and vegetable selling business, or even walking dog business. Your website can be tailored to give you a huge advantage over your customers. So really what this is doing is making ebook sales from the angle of using a website, and powerful call to actions to trigger customers that will buy your ebooks. Okay, so again, yes, that's the mechanism that helps, and I'm stressing this because we're going to be using these two things quite a lot through the whole process. So next step is if you already have your topic and the mechanism that helps. So we could use this topic, which is the get ebook sales, and this is the mechanism that helps. So what it does is it takes your topic and the mechanism that helps. And why do you need a mechanism that helps? So if, for example, you sell your video tutorial is teaching people how to sell ebooks, obviously, but it's teaching people how to sell ebooks through using a responsive web page, or teaching people how to sell ebooks using an email system, right? Whilst you don't want to give the full picture of what you're writing about, you want to give to sort of quote this out in a big idea, in a big message that seems tantalizing and interesting to people. And that's why we're getting this big message content out first. And from that, we go into creating our email angles. Okay. So the first step was just a creative process where you just only know the topic. If you only know the topic, you go to step one. If you don't know if you know the topic and you already know the mechanism that you are using to help people achieve their goals, you go to step two. So the big message here, the secret to making huge website profits is to have a hugely responsible and personal web page. Our web page must be able to attract at least 10 times as many people as our website attracts. The secret is to make our web page so incredibly responsive and personal that people cannot help but flock to it. And when they flock to it, they buy everything. Okay. This one is good as well. Okay. Right. So this is really the main point of the message, and we're going to be using this to create all the angles which we're going to be using to email people. Right. So how do we get to the angles? Next step. So one of the angles people may write about is the objections people have about your product, if people are thinking, oh gosh, web pages, they don't really work that much, or web pages is such a old idea, I know about this already. So you want to be able to pull out as many angles, so I mean as many objections as possible, and then find ways of answering those objections. So that on its own, that can give you almost over 100 different angles to write about. Okay, so let's just pull out the objections to our big idea. So topic is get ebook sales, and let's pull this. Let's put this into the big idea area and see what objections closest copy comes up with. Right, so these are possible objections that people will have. And you can just keep getting more and getting more, just clicking the button and getting more and more objections. So kind of objections people may have is, what words will work best for my business? My budget doesn't allow me to pay extra for this kind of thing. I do not have much money to spend on advertising anyway. What words will you use? I don't want to pay. Right, I just click for more objections, and what it does is then it just creates as many objections as possible, which you can then write your emails around. So objections is one of the ways. Now all these objections, they're sort of tied in with the big idea. So if the big idea is, we're saying here, is that with the right words you can create powerful call to actions that trigger a flood of. So that's the right words, is like the thing people are now objecting to here, from all closest copies pulling out. Right, I would actually like to add this with a highly responsive and personal web page. I'm going to change that here. With a highly responsive web page, you can create, let's just see what that would do, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Hopefully you get the points with that one. So next one is answering the objections. So in this one, we copy the big idea. Let's go back to the write your words. We copy the big idea. We copy any objection. And so what it would do is write an answer for that objection, which can be something you then plug into an email. You don't necessarily need a lot of money to get the job done. You just need to be strategic about what to say about it. Even the most inexpensive words and phrases can be used with the right delivery system to trigger an intense buying response, which is good. So that could be a response to that objection. So I hope you guys get the idea that you just create objections, you will create answers to the objection. So that's one angle, one set of angle that you can come at selling your products. But it doesn't stop there. Apart from answering objections, we could also get some unique mechanisms. So you could have unique mechanisms about the products or services themselves. And let's just see what this will pull up. So I'm going to write the same get an ebook sales message. I want to keep the message, the big message, short so it doesn't get confused. Right, so we use this bit as the big idea. one of the things you'll find as you begin to get better using Closest Copies AI is that if the points you've placed in the examples or the instructions that you're trying to get the AI to write around, if it's unclear, the AI will not give you a good content. If the AI can understand exactly what you are after, it's going to give you the best content. And actually, that will tell you that other people would understand what you are after. The power of urgency, the exact words you should use to create compelling call to actions on your website. So just imagine you have your fans who are struggling to understand, okay, what are the kind of things to do. So you can write around these topics, and then they have and link those directly to your emails, right? So that's something you can write about. What else can you write about? Moving on to the next one. Solutions, mechanism in the solution. So the solution that we have here. So we do exactly the same thing. And what this is all doing is making sure that you have all the different talking points that can be related to your product and services. And that's the crucial thing here. So gone are the days when you have to spend ages brainstorming and trying to experiment with things that won't work. You're more likely to find angles that will work quite easily here, and angles that will also be interesting to your customers. Please, that's exactly what I want. Why having interesting and compelling, unique website content is more important than ever before. How to find the right words to make your website more appealing to visitors. So you see, this is giving you headlines, potential ideas that your customers will really, really love, that is linked to your product. Okay, let's go to the next one. So far what we've done is we've gathered information around objections, so we can answer objections with our emails, which can link to our products. We've gathered information about the unique mechanisms in the product or service itself, and which can also link back to the product. We've gathered information about the solutions within the product, and the different things that you can write around the solutions within the product. And then we're also now gathering like benefits or dangers or disadvantages, or what we call vivid hell and heaven islands around the product, which also then gives you more talking points. So the topic is get ebook sales. So what you should do now is to write about ebook sales, but what's the pain points and the desires and the benefits a person who wants to get more ebook sale is looking for. So what we have: Hell Island, having to force yourself to get out of bed, struggling to motivate to leave the comfort of your warm bed. Why is that doing that? Okay, no, that's not related. Let's make it more clear. How to sell more. And this is again how the AI works. If it doesn't quite understand what you're asking it will not give you the right answers. Okay, let's see if this is right. Okay, lack of any real confidence. You constantly worry about whether or not you are able to make it from day to day to the next. Okay, worrying about the bills, wondering how you'll be able to pay them. Okay, so this is now coming from angles that are not necessarily directly linked to ebook sales, but is looking at the kind of problems a person who wants more ebook sales will have in their lives. So you could write emails around dealing with the lack of real confidence and worrying about what you're able to do from day to day to next, and being able to survive life, and then find a way of connecting that to ebook sales, or write about your bills, struggling with your bills and how you're going to pay them, and again connect that to ebook sales. You could write about a deep feeling of satisfaction with your current situation. Life isn't dissatisfaction. Life isn't working out the way you planned or expected, and then you can connect that to how selling more ebooks can actually make life more satisfying. So I actually like the vivid brainstorming, the vivid hell and heaven islands, because it's coming from that angle of the pain points and the desires people who want to sell ebooks have. Gives you quite a lot of talking points there. So these are all angles which we could create our emails around. Okay, so now once you've gathered all the angles, and you could keep on brainstorming and pulling out different angles until you have 1,000 different angles to write about, then we go to actually writing our emails. Now in the emails workflow here, I've got one email is directly linked to the product or service. So you could take any of these points and that you feel okay is directly linked to your product. So one of those, one that's talking about the solution or talking about the unique mechanisms in the product, this can write around that. So again, we're going to copy, actually, sorry, this first one is writing around an objection. So what you do is you copy your topic, you copy your big idea, and you copy one of the objections. And so what it will do is it's going to produce an email around the objections. So we got the big idea, and the topic here is get ebook sales. The big message is here. And then copy any of the objections. My budget doesn't allow me to pay extra for this kind of thing. I am a do-it-yourselfer. So hopefully what the kind of email this will write will be targeted to someone who feels their budget doesn't allow them to buy your service. And hopefully then what will happen is the email will convince the person that actually this is something that would actually help you, although you're thinking do it yourself is the best way out. Here are some pitfalls. Right. It may not give exactly something like that, but it should write around something like that, hopefully. And again, when you are gathering your emails, remember that whilst, you could have the great fortune of having it write all the content in one go, and it all makes sense, it's all relevant, that's great. But most of the time what's going to happen is that you'll find portions of what it has given you that is relevant and you want to keep, and portions where you don't really want to keep. And all you just do is regenerate until you finish writing your email. So what did we have here? How would you like to get paid thousands of times for every customer you bring onto your website? You know, that website you've been wanting to put on your webmaster's heart, what are you going to teach people about the wonderful secrets of making huge profits online? Well, there's one small detail you should know about putting websites on the web. It's going to cost you a few extra dollars, but it will be money well spent. Okay. So this is about somebody who's thinking that they don't have money to spend. This is showing you why that's not the best way to think about it, right? Okay. So the next email is indirectly linked. So the first email is directly linked to the product or service, using the objections that people make. The next email is indirectly linked to the product or services, and it just takes again the topic and the big idea. Now, hopefully you're getting the idea here. First of all, what we do is we create our topic and a big idea, and from that we generate different talking points using objections, using unique mechanisms within the product or services, using their desires and their pain points, and that creates a lot of different angles which you can then connect to your products. And then once we've created those, we take those angles and we plug them into Closest Copy, again, to help us create more content around those. Now this particular indirect link, you don't necessarily have to use any of the pain points you've gathered, because it will just creatively just pull up a connection. So can a website make profit? Websites are supposed to make money, right? Not necessarily. A poorly written website can actually do a lot of harm, right? So this is talking about website making profits. And so again, you'll find so many angles that you can write to that person who's trying to sell their ebook and perhaps considering a website. Okay. This one will just create a bit of a cliffhanger, and it only just takes the topic, so as you'll find in the workflows here, some of the steps are do this first, do this next, do this next, do this next. Some of the workflows have steps where you can use this email, you can use this email type, you can use this email type. You don't have to use all of them together, or you could use all of them together and just take bits and pieces from each one. Really, whatever gets you the outcome you're after. So it gives you a title: Get This Ebook Sales Working Better for You. Today I'm going to give you 8 more. So in my last report, my last report gave you 7 powerful ideas to help you write better copy. Today I'm going to give you 8 more, right? And so it just goes you through the 8 more ideas for writing better copy. But then again, what it does at the end, it creates a bit of a cliffhanger that makes people then thirst to find out more about your email, perhaps your email course. Sorry, your Get Ebook Sales course, right? Then going a bit deeper, I love these these emails here. Again, connects to your topic and the mechanism that helps. So we take the topic, and highly responsive web pages mechanism that helps. So this, you could write this with this email, with this particular email framework. You could write an email that is linked directly to your product, or linked to, or indirectly linked. So you could write about anything actually with this framework, the Deep Insight email frameworks. So 7 simplest secrets to instantly increase your ebook sales by 3,000. The secret to making your ebook or website more lurking friendly. So your readers can't help but buy whatever you're selling. Okay, and it starts, so this starts off the email, and then the next step, so this step 1 starts off the Deep Insight email, the next step finishes it off. Now with the Deep Insight emails, you could now go to any of the other topics you've pulled out. So let's look for how to find the right words to make your website more appealing. Yeah. So that could be the topic, how to find the right words to make your website more appealing. And maybe using Google search is the mechanism that helps, right? So this one, what you're really doing here is you pick up any of the angles here to write about, and what you'll have to do is to decide, okay, what kind of mechanism will help with this. If you don't know what kind of mechanisms will help with this, you can go to the very first can go here, the very first step here, and put in that sentence there. Where we go, yeah, and it will bring some mechanisms that helps for you. Leveraging the power of metaphors. Okay, so how to find the right words, and leveraging the power of metaphors would be a strong mechanism that helps for this one, right? Again, you see what we're doing. We're not trying to, we're not having to think about this all in our head. We're getting closest copy to do all the heavy lifting. And then with that, oops, where are we? Let's just copy it all out. We'll go back to that email, the Deep Insight emails. Share Deep Insights. So, how to find the right words to make your visitors' website more appealing to visitors, leveraging the power of metaphors. And then this will create an email around that topic. And to start off the email, and then you can move to the next step to end the email, and use any of the other frameworks in the whole workflow to kind of beef this email up. So email, the secret to making your website more than just a list of words on a page. This newsletter reveals the killer secret that will supercharge your website profits. Most website owners are not aware that are not aware of the profit-making secrets that are hidden in their website copy. These hidden secrets are often referred to as metaphors and similes. Here are some examples of what I mean, right? Okay. So you get the idea. So this starts off the email for the Deep Insights, and this finishes off the email for the Deep Insights. So you've got the beginning and the end. Why have I separated them? Because of the word limit at the moment, it's hard to write the whole email out completely and actually have it be very full of useful content. So what I've done is I've separated the start and the end. That gives you opportunities to then fill up the email with things that are very relevant and useful for your readers. And so that's the Deep Insights. And I also like the why emails, because sometimes you want to just answer a question why a problem exists. So for example, here it says, why does some music, make us feel better, right? So you can write around that topic. Again, it's got a start and an end. And sometimes when you are trying to fill up the answers here, you can then use step 5, which is asking a question. So you could basically ask any question and it gives you a good answer, which you can just slot into the email. So with all of this now, you've got all the emails you need. So for example, so we've got the shared, deep insight, and the direct, indirect, and cliffhanger emails. This gives you all the email formats you can use, and all you just have to do is copy all these pain points, all these objections, all these unique mechanisms, one after the other. You can put them into the emails and just write emails for yourself and just keep on writing emails non-stop, right? Right. So just because sometimes the introductions and the conclusions that closest copy gives you with those email frameworks is sometimes maybe not up to par, it might be helpful to you to create your own introductions and conclusions. Now I've sort of I've looked through all my frameworks and collected the frameworks that tend to give me very, very flashy, very interesting, very exciting, very magnetic conclusions, introduction and conclusions, as well as putting together what I call stealth closes. And these stealth closes are the things that will tell people, oh, you're finding this interesting, you find this product interesting, oh, or did you know that there's this problem in this area? This may be something you have not considered yet, but check out this video for more information on how you can deal with this problem. And that's all linking back to your product. So the stealth closes are things that link to your product. So I've got one where you can then just look for an area in your email to put a stealth close in. So for example, if we take the topic here, get an ebook sales, and your product is talking about, let's switch it around. Okay, so let's say the topic of the email is how to deal with depression. how to deal with the depression of not after failure, right? I'm not sure if this will work, but let's say that's your topic and this is the related product. The product you want to kind of sell will be how to get more ebook sales. So another quick side note, since we're talking about dealing with failure, I have a video tutorial on how to get over the blues, get it to give me what I want. But the idea here is, once this works, it gives you a way to connect what you're talking about with what you want people to do. Okay, this is not quite working like I hoped it would, but I'll still be tweaking it to make sure it works. Well, the idea here is you put in a topic, you put in a related product or idea, and it should then give you a way of bridging into the link to your product idea. So that's one stealth copy. The one at the end gives is perhaps more straightforward, because all you just need to do is put in the topic. So the end of email. So this goes like when you have your PS. After you finish your email, you can just add a PS at the bottom of the email, and this leads to, would you like to know how to get real accurate ebook sales in under 5 minutes? Would you like to know how a guy like me just starting out can pull over? Then you need to read the entire message. Get this free report when you join my new list. The 7-day ebook sales letter collection is yours free. You're going to change all of this to make more sense to what you are trying to sell. Okay, so that's the stealth copy. Now sometimes when you try to figure out how can something link to another thing, so how does getting over depression help me with more books sales? Let me just see if that will work. How can getting over depression help with getting more ebook sales? And the idea here is, if you're struggling to find a connection between the email you've written and your product, this one should be able to pull in some ways of connecting them. Okay, so in a way, this has given, like, depression damages both short-term and long-term memories. This means that depressed people have a harder time forming new memories and retaining old ones. Overcoming depression allows them to feel a sense of relief and return to a normal state of mind. And you could then say, once you've gone back to a state of mind, you have the energy and the mental ability to focus and sell your books better. That could be the angle you take. Depressed people are much less likely to buy things by clicking on buttons, right? When people are depressed, they are negative, emotional, and they have harder time responding to stimuli. Therefore, someone who is clinically depressed, so in a way, what it's tried to do here is try to show how getting over depression, how being depressed can hinder someone buying your book. Okay, I know that I've sort of pushed the boundaries a little bit trying to link these two things together, but I'm just kind of showing you how this particular idea works. So you may have an email you're writing and you're thinking, how can I link it to my product? Just come to the step 5 here and ask that question: how does thing A link with thing B? And it should give you some ideas of how you can link them together. Okay. And then step 6 to step 10, these are when you just want to close your email with something that would excite them to just come to read whatever it is that you have to sell. So I have these as when you got some new exciting idea or new exciting thing you want to share, and these closes can be extremely useful to make people click to what you have to sell. Okay, so once you've done all of that, and if you are in a place where you think, the title I have here, the subheading I have here is not quite working for me, then you just come to the last one, titles and subtitles, and these will help you create your flashy, engaging, exciting titles and subtitles, or previews title for your emails. And there you have it. So throughout this whole video, I've shown you how to get your talking ideas and talking points, and I've showed you how to put those ideas and talking points into emails and get Closers Copy to write the emails for you. And I showed you how to then link those emails to your products and services. And Closest Copy is doing all the heavy lifting for you all this time, and also showing you how to then write titles and subtitles that are catchy, all using Closest Copy. Yes, and so as I said, this is not for the faint-hearted, yeah. But if you are in a place where you've been struggling to figure out how to write emails to your clients without feeling like appearing to be this pushy person who's always just saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. This series workflow will give you the opportunity to write emails that people can find engaging, enjoyable, interesting. They're going to be learning loads from you. At the same time, clicking loads to go and read your sales pages, your video sales letters, or any kind of sales material you have. Right, I'm hoping this all makes sense. If any of it doesn't make any sense and there's any more questions you have, please feel free to message me on Facebook, or just kind of